The set syntax in Power Apps or Power FX will create a global variable that's available through any screen in your application. To use it's very easy. Let's take a look at our application to see how we can use it. So I will select this set option. You can find this application in the description of this video. And I've got a simple one, what's up world right now. So when I go through and I start typing in some stuff and hit set variable, it's going to go ahead and set the value next to it. Oh, there we go. Set a value next to it by hitting a set variable option. To do it, we type in the word set, open parenthesis, the variable name, and then the value right after that. So as you can see, it looks very different than the update context variable. The update context is only available locally in a given screen of an application. There's even a with syntax, which is even local. It's more local than even that. And a given syntax, one command versus a screen versus globally in the application. So you might want to do this to pass variables back and forth between screens or pass records back and forth between screens. You can actually store an entire record into a variable using something like a lookup command if you wanted to, or a set of records if you wanted to. It could actually be a table that you store, but for those examples, it's best to do a collection. So let's take a look at how this works. Now, a few things to note, that if I were to take this out and type in like 2400 and hit set, it still thinks 2400 is a string, not a number. Our syntax is set, the variable name, and then whatever I have in this text box, impset.value. Now, because it is a text box, that's why it thinks that is a string. If I wanted to make sure this was a number instead, I would look at my button and I would change this INP set and I would add the word value in front of it like that with an open parenthesis, and I would close it at the end. That would make it a guaranteed to be a number. So when I type in 2400, I'm going to hit the set variable again. There we go, 2400. To show you it's a string, notice on the left side, we've been looking at context variables. And this time I'll go to global variables, and there is, I think it's called my set one, INP example. There we go. I think it's this one right here. I'll hit view text. And we can see we have the number with double quotes around it. So let's try this a slightly different way. Now, if you wanted to, we could insert a numerical input. So if I go to input here up top, you'll see number input. That would always imply it's a number. For these text inputs, it's always going to imply it's a string. So if I wanted to, I could drag over a number input or drag over a string input, keep it to a string input, put the word value in front, and use that same syntax there also. So I'm just going to drop in drop in a quick button next to it, drag it over here. And again, I'm going to go ahead in that button, I'll type in the word set, my variable, and then we'll look at that number input. Here it is, dot value, just like that. All right, so this time when I hit go, we're going to set that value, and now look at what we see this time. So now, when I go ahead and collapse that, re-expand it, it should be showing up in a second here. We're going to see that that's going to be a number instead. I think I called it my variable, terrible name. But if I leave the screen, come back, maybe, turn on, we get to wake up here. Oh, refresh, that's my problem. There we go. And then now, if I go over here and I look at my variable, view the number, we can see it's actually a number instead. There's double quotes. Again, you can always make a string a number by putting the word value in front of the input box also. So in that syntax, we could have done that as well. All right, thanks for watching. There's more information about this in the description of this video also.